This is the Finest City Insider. This is where we spotlight the people, the trends, and all things San Diego real estate, America's finest city. Very excited today. We have a special guest, Edna Mitchell, one of our team leaders here at Finest City. Not only a team leader at Finest City, but the current vice president of NAREP.
Yep.
And speaking of NAREP, Edna, could you tell us a little bit about NAREP and their vision and their purpose right now?
Yeah, so as you said, I am the vice president for NAREP San Diego. There's over 120 chapters nationwide, and San Diego is the founding chapter, so we're very proud of that. And 2024, we were able to obtain #1 chapter nationwide. We just received the news about that, so we're very excited and proud of that. And what NAREP does, and the mission is to help the Hispanic community sustain affordable housing. And as a realtor, that is a mission no matter what culture you're from, your background. Our mission is to help our community become homeowners. But we do try to educate agents, real estate professionals, to be able to help the Hispanic community. So by bringing information about grants, down payment assistance programs, things like that, so that those professionals can have those tools to help that community.
Wow. Very honorable, and congratulations on your achievement.
Thank you.
Very notable. I just wanted to also, ask you a question. How do you manage to be vice president of a organization like that, run a successful business, mother of, is it 2 or 3 children?
3.
3 children. So what drives you on a regular basis, and how do you find the time to do all this so well and with a smile on your face?
Well, sometimes I'm not smiling, but I do try to make it the best. I am very, I'm pulled in a lot of directions, but I love doing it. And it's very rewarding for me because I'm giving my kids an example of having a mom that's hardworking, that's dedicated and driven. It starts at home. So I want to show them, that their mom is a go-getter. And I also like contributing to our community. It's something that that was instilled in me from when I was a kid. I immigrated to the U.S. when I was 5, and my parents were very don't take, try to be part of it and give, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do, is to give and donate my time. With NAREP, it's a volunteer. We don't get paid or anything. It's just something that we're passionate about. And I'm passionate about my career and helping people, the people that I care about and love, my community. I'm part of it. And so that's what drives me, is making sure that the people around me are thriving.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And it's very clear as you speak about it, you light up, and it definitely shows. So speaking of real estate, how long have you been in the business? How did you get into real estate?
Why you call me out?
I didn't mean it like that.
Well,
How short of a time?
A short time, yeah. I like that better. So I've actually been in the industry for 14 years as a realtor. But before that, I actually used to work as a lender with USAA. I was in a bank in the financing. So I used to do underwriting. With USAA, it was a lot of veterans. So I found that I'm very strong in that type of buyer, a buyer that needs guidance with their VA loan. So when I moved to San Diego, I decided to stay home for 2 years to take care of my kids. But I like to work. I like to be out there, and I love being a stay-at-home mom. It's a hard job, and I think that they don't get praised enough because it's such a hard work. Again, it starts at home, like I said before. But I wanted to, be able to have a good foundation at home, but also be able to fulfill myself and my dreams and my future as a woman as well. And so I decided to just go with it. I didn't even question it. I don't even know why. I just said, oh, I'm going to be a realtor, and I did it. So that's pretty much it. It was just, I feel like sometimes things happen without you really planning it. It just falls on your lap, and
Right.
that's really what happened. And I didn't want to be in lending anymore. I mean, I know that you do both real estate and lending, but I got tired of telling people no, and
Sure.
I wanted to say yes. So I wanted to be part of the winning process, you know, and trying to find solutions of how it is that I can get people into their home or help them sell their home.
Yeah. And I love just as I'm listening to you, just really stands out to me, rather than just the same way you've raised your kids. You're a true example of practicing what you preach versus just, telling them something or instructing them on something. So congratulations on that. And also 14 years of experience in real estate. Do you feel that some of the background of when you worked was it US Bank you mentioned?
At USAA, I worked
USAA,
there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did some of that, some of that kind of that information or that experience helped you in your field today?
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest things that has helped me in my foundation, because with them it was very member oriented. So it was no matter what, it's always best. Whatever is best for the client is not what's best for me.
Right.
So it was very integrity, honesty, and there was times that as an advisor they were better off going with another bank, but they decided to stay with USAA because they knew the type of service. They knew that they were being honest.
Right.
So for me, that's very important, and I apply that to my job now. And having a living room conversation with my clients to really understand them and what their needs are, not mine, because at the end of the day, they're hiring me for their family, not
Right.
for whatever's appropriate for me.
Correct. That makes sense. So, it not only is it a transaction for us, but this is a life event
It is.
for these clients. So that makes sense. And being now in the business for some time, I'm sure you've seen a good amount of changes.
Yeah.
What would you say some of the biggest changes are from when you started to our market now?
I would say technology. Technology is way more accessible to buyers and sellers now. So I think that was it was a big deal for many agents back then, seeing all the changes, because they thought that the agents would become obsolete due to so much information out there. I mean, you got ChatGPT telling you all these things, and AI, and they always come with something saying how realtors are no longer going to be needed. And so technology, from when I started, there was no Instagram really, Facebook was there, but it wasn't used for what it is used now. So technology to me is a big change. And I think that it has its good things, because now I'm able to market myself when, I'm at home,
Right.
I can market myself every day and have a reach of thousands of people in a day.
Your exposure has grown.
Exposure, yeah.
And that's a good point with technology. There's always pros and cons of anything, but there's a lot of pros with technology, right? Yeah. And I think as an agent, especially, you can relate to this, 14 years in the business. If you're not growing with the technology, you could be obsolete. But if you use it to your benefit, like I was thinking as I was driving here and asking this question, I do remember years ago when you would get a client and you'd get a buyer, you'd typically go pick up that buyer, and there wasn't navigation, so you had to have everything mapped out before.
Okay, I'm not that old.
Okay, I'm dating myself. But you had to have everything mapped out. You couldn't go before there was a Garmin, before navigations were in the car. So with technology, I think everything's more efficient now. And just like you mentioned, even on social media with the outreach before, if you were marketing, maybe you were doing mail marketing, or you were doing some sort of advertisement. But now, like you said, at your fingertips, you could reach out to hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yeah, and that also goes to the buyers and sellers out there too. So they have so much information. So as a realtor, what value are you providing your clients? Like, to me, my clients shouldn't know more than me.
Absolutely.
So I should be doing extra homework. I should be more in the know than my clients, because I need to show my value. Again, they have all that information. So what things can I show my clients that is worth working with me? Like, again, having honesty, integrity, guiding them through the whole process. It is a big family event.
You'll never get that from a computer.
You're not. No, it's a touch. That's never going to go away.
I agree. So speaking of these changes, what do you think some of the strongest market trends that possibly a buyer should be aware of today?
I would say that right now they have more of the power of negotiating. Mm-hmm. There's not as many buyers out there. So the homes are staying longer on the market. Sellers are open to negotiate and are being more realistic, mm-hmm. I would say. There was a point that sellers were very adamant on the price that they wanted, but that's not the case, and it requires a listing agent like me that is going to be honest and transparent with the actual market and what it's doing now, because we want to list the home for sale, not to stay on the market for months. The longer it stays on the market, then you may not get the price that you want. Having
the real conversations, setting the right expectations. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's another agent that might just come in and tell them what they want to hear, but that doesn't set up for a successful transaction.
It doesn't, and it becomes a very bitter and stressful, transaction for the sellers. And I just had one that I didn't get. I actually ran it by you because it's a unique property, and it was a 1.2 listing in Mission Hills, but it's a unique property, and I would have been their fourth agent that they've gone through. So the sellers were very adamant about a price, and they told me, hey, we're very analytical, and we want someone that tells us the truth. And I'm like, well, the truth is that your price is not working.
Right.
if you're saying that you're data driven, then the data is saying that your price is not what it is. And right now you're chasing the market. They didn't like it, but I'm okay with that, because I rather focus on people that are realistic with what the market is. And again, you're hiring me because I'm the professional.
Sure. And of course it's in your best interest to get them the highest price in the quickest amount of time, but you've got to be realistic for them, or else the property is going to underperform.
Mm-hmm. And again, I would be the fourth agent.
Yeah. And and that specific one has been on the market several months.
It's been a year.
Had they possibly listed it at the right price a year ago, mm-hmm. 6 months ago, 3 months ago, then it possibly could have yielded them a little bit more. But now with that history of chasing the market,
right,
it might underperform.
Correct.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thanks for sharing it with us. So funny question for you, just to mix it up a bit. And I always like to say that every industry has its, little funny, quirky things that maybe the public might not know about. What is one of your unexpected, wildest, craziest things you've experienced on a showing or a listing that others might not be aware of?
I'm actually, surprised, because I haven't had too many crazy stories. Aside of like the typical going to a property that's destroyed and people are actually living there, mm-hmm. And it's not even destroyed. It's like people are actually like pooping there.
Oh my gosh.
And things like that, yeah. And I'm just like, how do they live there? But I've noticed that there are people that are older that usually go through that. Mm-hmm. And so it makes me sad. It makes me sad definitely. That they're going through that. I think one of the funny stories that I had was going on a listing appointment. I was doing my presentation, and obviously I love dogs. I have my little Yorkie, my little mojito that I love so much, and they're part of the family. But I was doing a presentation at my client's house, and the dog was barking and kept wanting to like be close to me. And I was going through the presentation, and it wouldn't leave me alone. And then my client was like, I'm sorry, Anyway, so finally the dog got on my leg and started humping me.
The dog knew you were a dog person.
And so my client was embarrassed and all that. And I was like, you know what? Now that happened, you have to give me the listing.
You have to sign the listing.
And they did.
Oh, perfect. Whatever it takes, right?
Whatever it takes. Go ahead.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay. So also thinking of maybe what a lot of people maybe not know about the market, and thinking now with your years of experience, maybe a younger person or someone just buying their first property, what is something unexpected advice that you'd give?
Unexpected.
Could be a first-time home buyer, or maybe even a move-up buyer in your situation. What is maybe the industry not talk about enough?
I think that everything is negotiable. Like everything is negotiable. Even even when they say as is.
Right. Right.
It's not as is.
Yes.
You know, I think that my motto is always ask. What's the worst thing they can say?
Right.
So so that's something that is not really talked about, I think, is there sometimes as you have your realtor saying, no, this is what it is, that's bottom line, or the seller said this is what it is, it's bottom line. I think you can still go ask, and you know, if they say no, then at that point at least you have peace of mind that you've asked.
Yeah, I bet you your buyers or your sellers appreciate that about you.
Yeah, because they feel like I'm advocating for them. They feel like, okay, at least she's trying to ask, and at least she's, you know, trying to get us a better deal. So I always ask. And if they say no, I'm like, hey, look, they said no. Or, hey, guess what? They said yes. So then they're winning.
Yes.
Everyone wants to win.
I'm sure they appreciate that about you. Well, cool. Well, then I have a couple of this or that questions for you.
Okay.
And always love to ask, Zillow or Redfin?
Neither.
Fair answer. Pizza or steak?
Steak.
Ice cream or frozen yogurt?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Okay. And then what is something that maybe like the viewers wouldn't know about you? Something that is a little quirky, or maybe a weird habit that you have?
I like to take naps.
Like you take naps? Okay.
Yeah, I love
Are they long naps, power naps? What kind of naps are we talking about?
I guess I could probably do like an hour nap.
An hour nap. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I hit the hour, I wake up a little bit more tired, but those 15-minute naps, game changer for me.
Yeah. And it's for me, it's almost like a must, or like I could say, okay, I need a nap.
And does it have to be like the right bed, or could it be anywhere? A car, leaning up in your chair in the office?
Yeah. No, no, not in the office. In the office is game time. So no, not in the office.
Good to hear.
But I like to take naps.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Edna.
Thank you.
Follow us for the next time. We'll definitely have a follow-up.
Thank you.